Every educator should be able to have in-depth conversations with their students about race issues in America, because race will not go away. Yesterday, when you was explaining this bill and why were some of the reasons you brought it, you mentioned a 7-year-old girl who was upset because she was white. And that she felt like a victim. And this is a story he told. You can go back and look at the video. I'm not making it up. And I felt, pause, one, I really hate the story that the little girl felt that way. And I'm glad you shared that story, because it also allows me to share the story of what it's like to be a Black child in America as well. And the trauma that Black children feel every day, knowing they live their whole history in America is that we were slaves or discriminated against. Every day you grow up, you know your whole history in America was that you and your people were a slave. That's our history. Those little Black kids that I see in my district are upset that they have to go to lesser quality schools, that they have lesser quality and access to housing, that they have less access to quality food, that their family has been ravaged by a criminal justice system built on the criminalization of African Americans. Black children across this country and this state and in my district and everywhere grow up traumatized by their American history. You talk about truth and perspective. Okay, well, that's our truth. Our history in America is not positive. Everything that you said about that little girl and how she feels, we feel it 10 times more. And to try to remove the ability to have these conversations because of that, to say that someone like that is a victim and overshadow what real victimization is offensive. I really hate the story about the little girl. I really do. And I have a lot of respect for you, so it's not personal. But this is not our opportunity to forget or try to scapegoat what's going on in America, what America has done, specifically to populations like mine. American history is not positive. American history, and this is a fact, was built on the blood, sweat, and tears of African Americans and Native Americans. We literally died building America's wealth and everything that it has. And to say that we're going to limit the teaching, especially my historical contribution, the contribution of my ancestors to those single events that you talked about, and let's scapegoat over, again, how Black America is less advantaged than any other race of people in this country based on how this country was started. The founding principles and all the documents you're talking about didn't include me or any of my colleagues in here that look like me, because we were slaves. Even up until 50, 60 years ago, we still didn't have the same rights, and still don't. And I will say this far as we still don't even have the same rights today. And every educator should be able to have in-depth conversations with their students about race issues in America, because race will not go away. Black Americans fighting for justice will not go away. We will continue to have this conversation, and it brings value to our education system for our teachers to be able to talk about that. So this is my first opportunity to speak on this, because I don't sit on the education committee. And it was told to me that this is a political statement, but don't play political statements with race. That's not cool. That's not funny. You see, there's plenty of us in here upset and offended that we're making political statements when it comes to our American history. Enough is enough, guys. Don't pass this piece of legislation. You know what political statement it is making. And if you don't want to be labeled the negative connotations that come with this piece of legislation, don't vote for it. And no, this is not a colorblind society. Race is very much still an issue in America, and we're going to have to address it. And I'm going to continue to speak about it.